Good afternoon guys and welcome to Croatia. James here. We are on board a Sunseeker Manhattan 55 this afternoon. I'm over in a beautiful island. We've had a party here for some of our Sunseeker guests overnight, but I'll take the opportunity to walk you through a used stock boat we've taken in against a 68 Manhattan. So this is a 2021 build, 2021 model. She was delivered spring 22 here into the Adriatic. Very nice boat. We're about 550 engine hours and loaded up with all the typical options you'd expect to see on something like this, including a Seakeeper gyro. Now, we've toured loads and loads of these on the channel, so I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail today with all the facts and figures, but we will have a walk around. She is available here. We are coming into mid-August and still a chance to buy, and we can find somewhere to keep it down here in the Adriatic or ship her off overseas if you wish. So let's head upstairs. We'll start up top and then we'll work our way down. Conscious of getting quite busy in the port here, and she'll be heading off back to Split where our main HQ is in the next couple of hours, so we'll just take an opportunity to have a look around. Very well maintained, with a full-time captain with the previous owner, and then now in our care in the gardenage of Sunseeker Adriatic until we find the next owner. Beautiful part of the world over here with some stunning coastline. We're on an island here called Sholta at the moment, and you can see how this fits in amongst other boats that you typically expect to see in the region. Now, 55 Manhattan, obviously 3 cabins. We have crew in the back and these wonderful Flybridge setups. So we've got massive seating here on the aft end of the Flybridge. Table opens and closes to give you some different options up here. They are available with a hard top, but as you can see, this particular one fitted with a bimini top, really designed to live up all year round out here. And you can see, obviously, keeping the sun off a lot of the seating up here, making it a lot more tolerable in the hotter sort of 36-degree heat that we experience here in the summer. Just spun round, so we've got the usual wet bar attributes as you'd expect on something this size. So there's a refrigerator and an ice maker there, a griddle and a sink under here. So whether you're running with a captain or just family use, everything's very easy to walk up the stairs here and then serve onto the aft deck or prepare your food up here as required. From the helm and the sort of social seating opposite, as you can see as we come forward here, nice area to sit and chat to the captain, or if you've got, say, kids and what have you, up here there is the option you can have a little fixed table here, but I think it works nicely with a freestanding teak one, and then you've got the extra space for moving around. And opposite here on the starboard side, we have a helm co-pilot seat. This one loaded, as we said, the AV and the navigation upgrades throughout the boat. So as you can see here, we've got 2 12-inch NSS Evo 3 nav screens. We've got the proportional bow and stern thruster controls here, VHF radio, the optional Zenta joystick system. So if you don't have the confidence of docking with your sticks here and your thrusters, you do have that control to manipulate everything into a single point. Nice bank of switches here for all the lighting, what have you, autopilot control, and you'll notice the buttons on the steering wheel here that are there then to control the screens. Of course, they're hybrid touch, they'll work with a pinch to zoom iPhone type manipulation as required. There is a handy little pull-up acrylic screen here for wind protection when you're up and running. Big change over the outgoing Manhattan 52 that came before this is the upgrade to the D13 800 horsepower engines, so quite a bit quicker and carry the weight of the gyro and certainly a jet tender if you have one on the back that little bit better. Now we'll just show you from the helm here. You can see down the back there, so if you imagine typical stern 2-star mooring here, obviously lots of the videos we shoot of these are on a pontoon in my Southampton base, but here you can see how you have the bow lines down to the seabed, and then we have a couple of lines out either side of the back and the passerelle out. So from the captain's perspective up here, and I say captain, maybe the owner, you can see the back end of the boat, and you've got great visibility here down the starboard side. Upholstery on this one, it's a platinum Silvertex fabric, which is a nice, easy to maintain wipe down vinyl, and you can see the optional teak up here on the Flybridge deck. Boat presents very nicely indeed. We've got the optional Sonos package, so you can see the Sonant speakers up here, all the upgrade, and then up top you can see we've got the open array radar scanner, part of the upgrade on the nav kit system that's running on the boat. Platinum med pack, which has got all sorts of bits and pieces in, but some highlights back here. We've got things like stern docking winches, a couple of extra cleats, so these would be used for transverse crisscross lines on the back here to make it a little bit more straightforward for the boat seesawing side to side if the weather was bad, but you can see if I just come off here how this works. Just with 2 lines typically on. Passerelle obviously adjustable up and down. High-low bathing platform here will take up to 450 kilos, but we do suggest with the gyro on there to reduce that down to somewhere around 150 kilos. So either something with a decent sized 20 horsepower outboard, aluminium floor style, or perhaps even a Williams if you insist on carrying around something that you can jet ski off the back of. You can see some carbon fibre detailing on things like the engine vents here. Lovely big hull windows in the side, a little bit tricky to see here in the port, but they are a very pretty boat from all angles. 52 Manhattan, previous model as we mentioned, was one of the most successful boats Sunseeker ever built, and this was a real evolution of all the bits that they did so well on that, just with a little bit more detail. Now let's just jump down on the platform here. Storage locker in this one, and then you've got a seat, there's a cushion to go on the back here. And then this particular boat spec with a second aft barbecue here in the back. Very nice. Can you imagine, to keep all the mess away from your flybridge, you keep platform drop down into the water, and then you don't get the sausage fat or the fresh fish or what have you onto the decking. You have to excuse, the boat is still full of my guy's gear here where she's been used for the event, but you can see the fully spec'd out crew space here. So single bed, there's a washer dryer down there. Nice utilitarian wet room style floor, and there is the optional 6000 BTU aircon system in there, which does make life a little bit more bearable for the captain on board. Now coming up in the cockpit here, we've got a nice central fixed seating arrangement. Table obviously opens and closes as required, and the optional removable bar stools. That means if you take those out, there's room for a couple of director's chairs here. Quite happily get 8 people around here. The aircon's running full blast in here at the moment, but if we just drop this down, show you how it instantly transforms as the sun goes down and the temperature eases off outside. It is then a very, very nice place to open the boat up, and then you've got this kind of servery bar set up. Just lock the door into place there, and you can then run with the boat open. So obviously a U-shaped galley, as we can see here, and as we come in through the door, we've got some brilliant, really deep refrigeration drawers. You've got 2 drawers, and then there's a freezer in here as well. Lots of fiddle rails, you can see bits and pieces on the side. We had an upgrade on the carpet. We've got some upgrades on the synthetic tops here, and some very, very nice neutral decor. Wine cooler, this is an upgrade. We've got things like crockery space. Lots of handy little cupboards, this being dishwasher over in this one. Bin, obviously fully electric galley, 17.5 kilowatt generator system, 4 burner ceramic top there, and you can see a 1.5 bowl Frankie sink. Extractor under this one. We've got some cupboard storage. They're very, very good for provisions and what have you for going away on for extended periods of time. Certainly out here in the Adriatic, it's a really, really good boat. Whether you're coming up from a smaller one or perhaps starting out, it is sized that you can get into the marinas, and you can also maneuver with perhaps just one additional body to help you out. Now I've just scanned forward, so we're now looking forward into the main saloon. Premium AV pack, 55-inch TV up there fixed to the starboard side bulkhead. Removable chaise in here, so that comes out and then you can put that down here around the table for extra dining. You can see a nice big social lounge area. We've got the black mesh window covers here on to keep the heat out at the moment, and then you've got Roman blinds here on these windows as required. Coming forward, so electric window here at the lower helm, obviously lift up bolster here, so this can give you the space either for standing or drop it down, and if you sit here, just spin it around, you're actually in my eye line here. You can see we've got great visibility. Admittedly, you take the mesh covers off if you were going to be out at open sea. We have some aircon vents up forward here, so it's running a full med-spec aircon system, part of the premium AV pack we mentioned earlier. So we've got an iPad control for the AV and the upgrade of the 12-inch screens here, autopilot, thruster control, and the Zenta and bits that we saw upstairs. Very, very nice, everything's to hand, and as you can see, condition-wise, she has been kept impeccably well. Right, some storage bins in here. We mentioned being super practical for that kind of thing. We walk down the stairs here, central companionway, just the single stairs on this particular boat, and then 3 cabins. So this is cabin number 2 on the boat, guest cabin VIP forward, central island bed, as you can see, very nicely finished. So this is the eucalyptus wood satin sheen in here. You have to excuse the camera, probably doesn't really do it justice, but beautiful graining through the wood, and works very nicely with the light linings that you can see up in the ceilings. We've got some funky LED lighting. There's a big escape hatch come light window above us, and then we've got opening port lights, so you don't have to run the aircon necessarily at night. You can open up those port lights. Storage throughout, so you can see lots of cupboards, and then behind the door there, good sized TV. We've got wardrobes, so I'm not going to go into all of this because we've done plenty of these, but you're just getting a feel for the actual condition of this particular boat. Shower compartment there, and all of the normal bathroom systems, vacuum flush toilet. This is Jack and Jill access, so obviously from the cabin itself, and then across obviously from the hallway here would service either guests or from cabin number 3. So this is the twin bed guest cabin, which perhaps also doubles up as a kids cabin, and you can see nicely appointed with all the detail lighting and everything else that we've seen through the rest of the boat. Cupboards up here, it's a big wardrobe and a TV on the bulkhead there. Very, very nice indeed. Then we come around here and down a few steps down into the bows of the boat now. So we've got the master cabin ensuite heads, and you can see that's all pretty much the same as the forward bathroom. And then we come through the door here, so we've got some shelving, some nice little inlaid glass panels in here, and leather lined sideboards and what have you. And then we're looking aft now, back at the what would be the forward end of the engine room. Island master bed, and then we have a couple of different configurations down here. This particular one's actually configured with the chaise to this side, and then we've got some drawers and storage cupboards beneath. I pulled the blinds up just so you get a feel for how much natural light comes in through these windows, even in this sort of med style setup where we've got boats either side of us. The lights are really on dim here, you can say very, very soft indeed. And then we've got a huge AV system, wardrobe over in the corner there. It's a very, very nice one indeed. So down in the engine room, we will go and have a quick look. There's a Seakeeper 6 gyro stabilizer, upgrade on the anchor winch. We've got LED lighting around the, you see the cockpit here, and the side deck ones as well. And this is a 3rd station Zenta control worth mentioning there. Underwater lights on the back, and then as we come up on the side, you'll see we've got optional teak side decks as well. So let's walk on forward. As you come down, you can see you don't need any hands. It's very, very safe and secure up here. Rails are very high, feels very safe. If you're walking around with young kids, or perhaps you've got little dogs or what have you, it's very usable, as this is a big, big important part of the boat. Covers on, as we did have some wet weather last night, but we have a nice U-shaped seating area. The table there actually drops down, and there's an infill section to go in there with a cushion. Storage, there's lockers underneath here for ropes and what have you. And then in the forward end here, an anchor locker where you can store your fenders as well. You can see large Delta style anchor there. And just trying to give you an impression of all of this teak and what have you. Everything is extremely well looked after. Remote control spotlight there worth mentioning. And as we mentioned from inside, these are the black mesh covers that keep the worst of the heat out. So let's just run back and have a quick look in the cockpit, and then finish off down here in the engine bay, and then I can let the guys get away. Have to excuse there's a bit of noise as the generator is running, getting ready to fire up the gyro system, and we won't be climbing in today, but just to put the camera through the hatch here, you can see we're on a conventional shaft design. It means the engine here, gearbox, and then a straight propeller shaft out of the back. That's a canopy bag in the middle, nice way to keep all your storage covers protected. And scanning round, so we've got 2,200 litres of fuel, so they're tucked up on the outboard side of the engines. Down here, this is the gyro underneath the ladder, so over a standard spec boat, the generator here has to come up and move outboard, gives a bit more space, and that sits in the cradle recess into the floor there. We do have a water maker as well on this as a retrofit we did here in Croatia, as often you're away from port for several days at a time on anchor, and it just means you're a little bit more self-sufficient. Let's drop that back down. So boat was fully prepped earlier this season, so other than a generator service where we put a few hours on doing viewings and what have you, she is pretty much turnkey ready to go. On the market now, £1,380,000 ex-tax. Boat is our physical stock, so if you want to talk to us about perhaps a part exchange or a straightforward cash purchase, and as we said at the beginning, a full package here to help you with a mooring, perhaps some training and all of the gardenage and ongoing maintenance. We have a fantastic team down here in Croatia. Easy to get to, Split Airport direct from the UK and many other places around the EU. And if you'd like to know any more, as always, please do get in touch. It's james@sunseekersouthampton.com, or the mobiles +44 7747 686 587. Nice to show you around today. Look forward to seeing you soon.